Today is the 11th of September 2023, and I want to talk about plotting of coordinates and the straight line graphs. Okay, before I start, thank you to everyone who has been watching our videos. Okay, please subscribe, share, like, and follow us. Okay, and give us some nice comments. I will appreciate that. I normally write in the comment section. Please follow my notes/script. Okay, at times there are a lot of numbers, so this is ax plus b equals c. Okay, so if you hear ax plus 6 equals c, this is not 6, it's a b. Okay, so in that instance you follow the notes. This is 6x plus 5 equals 29. Okay, so if you hear anything apart from that, or like 9 or 19, no, follow what is on the script. Okay, if there is a problem with what is on the script, I'll come back and write it in this comment section, or I would correct it in the next video. Okay, but normally I've done the script myself, I've done the notes, gone over several times, so the script is the accurate one. Now beware of these people scammers. Okay, don't let people scam you. Okay, what I'm saying, maybe some of you have experienced it. Oh, can you donate money to an orphanage? I won't ask you to do that. I won't send you international numbers or local numbers or wherever the account numbers are coming from and asking you to donate money for some cause or some orphanage or some amputee or some seriously ill, about to die person. You know what I mean? Don't fall for it, please. Don't. Thank you very much. Okay, I'll recap from the last lesson. We looked at linear equation, and that is the simplest form of equations, okay, that you will have, okay, so far, because there are a lot of equations, quadratic equations, a lot of them which we'll be looking at, but we started to look at these equations, linear equations. Okay, and then we solved some linear equations, and then we said they have only one variable. If they have two variables, they are not linear equations. If they have a denominator which is a variable, that will not be a linear equation. If they have two variables, that will not be a linear equation. If the variable is just one but it has a square root on it, it's not also a linear. So I gave you examples of those. Okay, and we said it has the form ax plus b equals c, where a is not equal to 0. So this a is not equal to 0, because if a becomes 0, then this part of the equation vanishes. Then now we have b equals c. So it's like having 5 equals 5. Okay, and that is not a linear equation. Okay, or b equals 10. Okay, so, and we solved some of the equations. Okay, so an example here is 6x plus 5 equals 29. 6x equals 29. This is plus 5. So if we move it to the other side of the equal to sign, it becomes minus 5. Okay, or you take away 5 from here and you take away 5 from the other side. So you have 6x equals 29 minus 5, which equals to 24. 6x equals 24. So x equals 4. Okay, if you put x back equals 4 into 6x, you are going to get 24. And if you put x equals 4 into this equation, you have 6 times 4, 24, plus 5, which is 29. Okay, so you solve for your x. Now, our starter today, increase £11,000, 526 by 14%. Okay, so 14%, from our earlier video, we know 14% is 14 out of 100. Okay, it's in the percentage video, so if you want to have a look in the earlier videos, you can have a look. So 14% is 14 divided by 100 times 11,526. Okay, so now if you do this on the calculator, you multiply 14 by 11,526. Okay, and whatever you get, you divide by 100. Okay, I've been asking you, if you are doing your Gcse in a year or two, start getting used to your calculator. Okay, don't use the calculator on your phone, it will help. And use it like 2 days before the exams, it won't. Okay, so start using it now. Have a calculator on the side. If you are doing math questions that involve calculator, use your calculator, so that by the time you get to the exam, you know all your functions, so that you can use it for the the calculator paper. So now you have 14 times that, or you can do 0.14 times 11,526. So here you are. Now if you do that on the calculator, it's 1613.64. Okay, on the calculator. But here we are dealing with money, so we can have this in decimal because that is the pence. We can't have it in 3 decimal places, and we can't have it in 1 decimal places. We need to have it in 2 decimal places because it's money. Now it says increase, so this will be the increase. So we go back again and add this figure to 11,526. So the increase will be 11,526 plus 1613.64. If you add both numbers on the calculator, you get 1,339.64. Okay, so money, so we leave it in 2 decimal places. not in 1 decimal place and not in 3 decimal places. Okay, because we can have it, we can have 99p, we can have 64p. Okay, so that will be our answer. Now today, okay, after looking at linear graphs, I want to introduce you to how to plot coordinates, okay, and how to draw straight line graphs. Okay, now the vertical axis, which is this one, is always the y-axis. Okay, the horizontal axis, this one here, is the x-axis. Okay, so you have your y-axis, you have your x-axis. This is the positive part of the x-axis, and that is the negative part of the x-axis. That is the positive part of the y-axis, and that is the negative part of the y-axis. Okay, so both axes have the positive parts and the negative parts. The coordinate is written in the form x, y. So the x coordinate comes first, followed by the y. So for instance, this A point, that is the x value, is on the x-axis, so that is 8, and that is 6 on the y-axis. Okay, so you always have x and y. So the value on the x-axis first, followed by the value on the y-axis. The two lines x and y-axis meet in the origin 0, 0. So we've done some graph work, and we said you can compress it by using a certain sign. Okay, here that is your origin. Okay, and this point is 0, 0, which is on this point. At this point, x is 0, y is 0. So plotting the following coordinates on the graph. So the first one is 8, 6. Okay, so positive 8 and 6. This graph is not to scale and it's not on the graph. Okay, so I've just done tried to use eye judgment to try and do equal intervals of 2. So I have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11, 12 for the positive side of the x-axis. And then I have -2, -4, -6, -8, -10, and -12 for the negative side of the x-axis. The whole of this is the x-axis. Okay, try and do equal intervals, is very important. And then the whole of this line is the y-axis. So 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10, that is the positive part. Okay, and then -2, -4, -6, -8, -10, -12, that is the negative part. So our first coordinate, A, 8, 6. So we have 8 and 6. So 8 is somewhere here. So we try and draw a faint line. And then 6 is this part, another faint line. So where the two lines meet will be our point. Okay, so 8 is 8, 6 there. The second point B is 10 minus 14. Okay, so B here is 10 minus 4, sorry, not minus 14. So B is 10 and minus 4. Okay, so 10 here, which is positive, minus 4 on the x-axis is below 0, so we connect it with a faint line, and where the two lines meet, so our x value, our y value, so 10 and minus 4, so that will be our B. The x comes first, followed by the y. C here is minus 6 and minus 10. So C is that point here, minus 6 in the x-axis and minus 10 in the y-axis. So minus 6 all the way down, minus 10, and they connected, so that will be our point C, minus 6, minus 10. Now D is minus 10 and 8. So the x is minus 10, the y is 8. So on the x-axis, we'll look for minus 10. That is the negative part of the x-axis. And then 8 is the positive part. So minus 10, a faint line, then we connect it to 8. So that will be our D, minus 10 and 8. Minus 10 is x, my 8 is what? The y, on the y-axis. Okay, so basically that is how you plot your coordinates on a graph. Okay, now that we know how to plot the graph, and it should always be the x first and the followed by the y. Okay, we want to have a look at how we draw a straight line graph and how we can find the equation of that line graph. Okay, so I'm going to do one with you today, and then tomorrow we'll try and do a couple of examples to just solidify our learning. Okay, so today I have the x, I've drawn another x and y axis. It's not to scale again. It's on the plain paper. That is my origin here, 0, 0. It starts from 0 to plus 15, okay, on the positive x, and to minus 15 on the negative side of x. 0 to minus 10 on the negative side of y, and 0 to 15 on the y positive side. Okay, now every straight line should be in the form y equals mx plus c. Okay, where m is your gradient and c is your y-intercept. Okay, y-intercept basically mean where your line cuts the y-axis. Okay, so that will be your C. Okay, not where it cuts the S, where it cuts the y-axis. Okay, that's very important. M is your gradient, So if you choose 2 points on the line, your gradient is y2 minus y1, x2 minus x1. So if you have 2 points on the line like this, these 2 points, okay, first you take away the y's, okay, so you know the y is the second one, and then you take away the x, divided by, you take away the x. That will be your gradient, okay. So now we want to find the equation of the line here. This line doesn't go through the origin, okay. It has a y-intercept of -4. So straight away we found the c, but it goes through 2 points, 5, 5 and 10, 14, okay. If we are not given, it will be on a graph, so we should be able to find those 2 points, okay. Or you can find 2 points on the graph, okay, and then use those 2 points to find your gradients. So now the 2 points we have here is 5, 5 and 10, 14 on the line, okay. So we have 5, 5 and 10, 14, okay. Now we use the formula y2 minus y1 all divided by x2 minus x1. So the point we have 5, 5, x1 is 5, y2 is 5, y1 is 5, okay. So x1, y1 for the first point, x2, y2, okay. So our y2 now is 14, so 14 minus y1, which is 5, which will give us 9. x2 is 10 minus 5, which is our x1, which will give us 5. So our m now becomes 9 over 5. Okay. Our y-intercept c is -4 on the graph here. Okay. So now we put it back in the equation y equals mx plus c. So y equals m. Our m from this equation, which is our gradient, we found it to be 9 over 5, which is 9 over 5. So mx plus c, our c here is the y-intercept, which is -4. So instead of writing plus c, it is like plus -4. And the work we've been doing on negative integers, it turns out to be -4. Okay. So our equation now for this line, okay, this line that we've drawn, is y equals 9 over 5, which is our m, x plus c, and our c here is -4. Okay. Now we can also write it as, we can multiply the whole equation by 5. Okay, remember, whatever you do, you have to do it for all, both sides. So if we multiply by 5, we multiply 5 by y is 5y equals, we multiply 9 over 5 by 5 we get rid of the 5, so we have 9x s minus times 5, 20, because the 5 multiplies everything here, not just 1, everything. So our equation can either be seen as y equals 9 over 5x minus 4, where the gradient is 9 over 5 and this y-intercept is minus 4, or 5y equals 9x minus 20. So now, finding that, I've brought it and written it on the line here. 5y equals 9x minus 20. Okay, so that is the equation of the line, this line here. Okay, and it's not to scale, it's just on plain paper. Okay, we've just used eye judgment to do the intervals. Okay, so basically we've plotted the graph 5y equals 9x minus 20. So for instance, if I'm given this formula here to plot the graph, I will just basically go back and rewrite it in this form. Y equals 9 over 5 x plus c, and I know that the y-intercept is there. Okay, so I can say when x is 1, what is y, and then I'll plot that. And then when x is maybe 4, what will y be? Then I'll plot that. And then join those 2 points with the y-intercept. And then draw the line. It will come out the same. Okay, even though it will be different points, it will come out the same. It will be the same line. Okay, so basically this is what we've done. You need to remember this formula though, or write it on your flashcard. So if you have 2 points, you need to remember that you need to subtract the x coordinates, okay, divided by the y coordinates. Normally they say we write it as the change, we write it as m equals the change in the y coordinates over the change in the s coordinates. Okay, if you can remember this. Okay, but I just wanted to show you how you use the coordinates. Okay, but it's always y, the change in the y coordinates over the s. So if you have 2 coordinates that the line passes through, you can easily find your coordinates and find your m. You can easily get those on the graph to find your m, and you can easily get your c from the graph, and then find the equation of that line. Okay, we will do more of this tomorrow. I just wanted to introduce you to how to plot, how to find the equation of a straight line, okay, on a graph, okay, using your y equals ms plus c and your gradient, okay, and your y-intercept. Okay, and that was why I had to, even though I know some of you know this linear equation, I had to introduce that. Okay, so this is a line graph. okay, that we've just seen this morning. If you can see, it's not to scale. Okay, that is the equation of a straight line here. That is the gradient formula. Okay, and that is the C is the y-intercept. And today we found, if you use these 2 points and the y-intercept to find the equation of the line, okay, which we've written here. Okay, so thank you very much for watching today's lesson, and I'll see you in the next.